bitterly disappointed with the performance. We just had a bit of an honesty session there with the players before they came out, and I think it's a lot down to the build-up that's happening next week. There's a lot of nerves involved in that, and I think, don't know if people are worried about getting injured or missing next week's game, and there is pressure, and there's 22 guys on this field tonight, and there's only going to be 20 next week, so a lot of them, I've made it fairly clear that there is places to play for, so I think all these things combined, I think they're only human, and it's been such a long time since Gala won that they are worried and they are nervous, and I think they are anticipating a massive game next week, so we just had to make sure we do the things that have got us to where we are now. And in the first half, I thought we tried to play rugby where we don't normally play rugby, and we try to do things that we don't normally do or we practice. And unfortunately, when we do that, anybody can beat us. And then with the disappointing thing as well, the defence today, in the first half especially, the amount of tackles that we fell off, the amount of tackles that we missed, is bitterly disappointing for me and for the players. And and as I said to you, I'll let them know, and I'll let individuals know that I'm not happy with that, and they know how I work and they know how I operate, and they take it in the chin and they come out and they play the type of rugby that we're capable of playing, and we played all year to get us to this position. And the second half we just blew Hawick away.
It was an unusual game, wasn't it, for a Gala Hawick game as well? Because normally it's pretty well uptight, it's very, very defensive, and there was an awful lot of open rugby, and as you say, that led to a lot of mistakes. Yeah,
I think it was. I think both teams, the same with Hawick, they're obviously worried about next week as well. They've got a huge game next week that could potentially put them in the relegation zone, and they're fighting for their lives as well. So they'll be wanting to have it would have been great for them to have a win this tonight to go into next week's game full of confidence. And Hawick are a good running team. I think in their pack they've got really good, hard-working boys that make you work for the breakdown in a set piece. They're maybe not the best, but I think they're well drilled, and they put us under pressure tonight. I thought we dominated them in the scrum a couple of weeks ago up there, but tonight, I thought they were very, very good. They've always done a lot of work on the scrum, especially Sean Muir, Wally Blacklock. I think they held up the scrum very well. So we never had this dominance that we normally have in that area, but that's all credit to Hawick doing their homework. And but no, it was a no bad game in the second half. First half for me personally, really disappointed, and I let the boys know in certain terms I wasn't happy with that.
Now, of course, we're 7 days away from the big match. It all comes down to this, effectively, for the Premiership Championship. And, of course, the interesting thing is, Gala, it's been 31 years. For Melrose down the road, they're more experienced at getting titles. So who's going to bottle it first? That's what it's going to come down to, isn't it?
I don't know if the right term is bottle it, Stuart. I think it's who's going to miss their opportunity. Obviously, if both teams win, then we'll win the title. If one loses, the other one wins, and unfortunately, that's what it comes down to. And it's great for two teams that are 3 mile apart that are fighting for this. We've just had that. I think it's been such a long time, and everybody's aware of that. It's been 31 years since we won the league, and I've just been saying to the players there is we need to grab it with both hands. We need to take this opportunity because we don't know how many times this is going to come along. Who knows what's going to happen next season? Who knows what players are going to be here? Who knows what other teams are going to be strong? So when the opportunity comes, we have to grab it with both hands. We don't let anybody take it away from us. And you're right, Melrose are vastly more experienced about winning titles. They've done it, twice in the last 3 years, and then they've been at Scottish Cup finals quite a few times. So, in terms of experience and that, and how to make sure they cope with the nerves, they're a lot better than us. But we're in a position we're in because we've been winning games, and you can't take that away from us. And all we need to do is just make sure, come next Saturday, control the nerves, control the game, do what we've done for the last year, and I'm sure we'll get the result that we need to get.
Will you be doing anything different at all leading up to this game?
Probably not. Stuart, if I'm being honest with you, we'll train on Tuesday the way we normally do. I might have a video session beforehand for an hour before we go over the main pitch. But other than that, at this time of the season, is it pertinent to change things that's got you here? I would say no. The argument is that obviously Ayr will have a video of what we do, so we've got a few things that we maybe throw at them they haven't seen before, but in terms of how we play the game, it'll more likely be the same.
Now, of course, Ayr tonight fielded Ali Kellock, Dougie Hall, Mark Bennett, a few others as well. What happens with regard to Gala if they're fielding a team like that? Do you actually get the pros in, or do you keep loyal to your lads?
I think you probably know better than anybody, Stuart. I don't know what players will be made available to me, and I will just need to wait and see what happens on the Tuesday. Ayr have got a fantastic player in Ali Kellogg, who I've worked with and coached with the national team. I met him actually last Saturday. He's just coming back from a shoulder bicep tendon injury. Matt, the young boy in Bennett, I've not seen much of him, but he's a good, powerful, strong runner. And Dougie Hall, I've worked with him as well. He's a vastly experienced international player, so I'm sure that'll boost him. Whether they get him next week, it's beyond my control, and it's not something I want to dwell on. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it.
Okay, and talking of injuries, what about the son?
George, he's confident, the physios are confident. We'll just need to wait and see how his healing comes along between now and there. I mean, the medical staff are working as hard as they can. He's doing all he can to make sure that he gets himself right, and we'll make that decision on Thursday evening whether he plays. But I thought Ewan Gunter done well this evening. He's got a good zippy pass. I think it was a step up from playing with the twos all season. But I thought he'd done really well, and if he's got to play next week, I'm sure he'll do a good job as well.
Well, it's going down to the wire. As we know, it's Gala's to lose.
Yeah, it's Gala's to win. I think we just need to control what we can control. We've done this all season. We haven't really relied on anybody doing anything for us anywhere else, and I can't imagine us doing it this week. I'm not going to say, well, I hope Currie wins, because it doesn't make any difference. Because if Currie win and we win it, we'd still win it. So all I'm interested in is I can control what happens in Gala, and if we win, we'll win the title.